Hello there again. I thought I'll just do a 1,000-mile review on my Giant e-bike, Fathom E3. Just to let you know how it's going. I've now done over 1,000 miles on it. I'll go into more details about the mileage and the range of the battery and all that later on in this video. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with the bike so far. It goes well. Tyre wear doesn't seem to be too bad. I mean, that's after 1,000 miles on and off road. Brakes are still okay as far as I can tell, and the pads are still alright. Discs slightly rusted there. I'll need to just get some aluminium foil to clean them up with. That's good to get rust like that off the discs. Forks are still, fine. I did add that mud guard, which I did another video on. I kind of replaced that one, which was much smaller, and it was just on the front of the wheel, with this bigger one, which seems to do a much better job. It's never going to be 100%, you still get some spray, but just put the waterproof trousers on if the road's wet. Other addition is these extension bars that I put on here. I had to just cut away part of the rubber handle, which was quite difficult because it's like quite well glued on there, so I had to cut a section away, and I had to take off the sort of end stopper things. These come with spare ones, which I've just kept to one side. So I put those on there just to give me more options when I'm riding, so that my hands can rest either there or like just flat, and that kind of stops your hands from sliding off or just gripping there or there. So it just gives you different options so your hands don't sort of cramp up too much on that. Did add a light on there, which was from my old bike because someone gave me a real cheap set of lights, which I've put on that, and the backlight, so which is quite bright. That's off my old Carrera bike. This one, I think the battery is about half gone. They just take the CR2032 batteries. Also got this phone holder, which is handy when you're navigating to places. It works quite well. It just holds on there with a strap, just with like a hook on there that hooks into the hole. But yeah, that works quite well. I've had my phone on there over rough roads and stuff like that. And of course I did get the cycle computer. That works well. That's a cat eye. Pretty good one. Yeah, I was having an issue with my chain slipping, especially in 7, 8 and 9th gear, and I discovered it's this adjuster over here, which you just need to turn, but I was turning it the wrong way. I was turning it downwards. I'm supposed to turn it the other way just to line up your derailleur, because it was slightly out. I don't know if I can get it into the shot here. Derailleur, I don't know if you can see that, but basically the chain has to be straight. It shouldn't be pulled to one side or the other by the derailleur, and it was slightly off, and I was just getting a really annoying thing where the chain kept slipping every sort of 10 revolutions or maybe less when I was hitting bumps and things. So since I've done an adjustment on that, because I guess the cable stretches over time, that's been fine. Yeah, back mudguard that I put on the same time as that one. They came in a set. It's okay. I may change that at some point. The saddle, that's not bad. I've kind of gotten used to that. I found it a little bit hard to start off with. Was going to get a Brook saddle, but then I've heard reviews that are positive and negative about that, so I'll just stick with this one for now. I don't normally do more than 40-50 kilometers maximum in a day. usually just take it easy, 20 to 30 one ride. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the bike. The other modification that I made on it, I got fed up with the speed restriction. So I've moved the sensor to there from, let me just see if I can get it in the shot where this bolt is there. It was bolted onto the inside of the frame. I've put it underneath the frame there. And then what I've done on the crank, just see if I can get this into the shot, I've attached a magnet. So that magnet basically comes close enough to the sensor down there, and you do less revolutions with your crank than the wheel does. So it fools the bike into thinking that you're going slower, and you don't have any speed restriction, which is a complete pain when you're going down into a valley and you need speed to get up the other side, and then you get restricted and you're just pushing against that motor. So that was the one annoying thing I found about e-bikes, which I have overcome, and at least now I can just push a bit more. I mean, you know, on a normal bike, on my old bike, I would be able to do that, but on this bike, it's silly. They restrict you. You know, it's basically something that you're not supposed to do. I wouldn't recommend it, you know, because you're kind of breaking the law by doing that. But I stick mainly to sort of pathways and stuff where I can, and I don't get too carried away with it. I don't take risks and put other people's lives in danger. I've got the original bell still on the bike, which I always use to warn people of my approach, and I always slow down when there's pedestrians around anyway. It's only like when you're out somewhere where there's no people and you want to get going. But yeah, overall I'm quite happy with the bike. I'll, like I said, discuss about the mileage. The battery takes between 2 and 3 hours to recharge. If it's down to 2 out of 5, it normally takes just over 2 hours. If it's right down to, like, you know, the red warning lights coming on, then it's about 3 hours to charge. So that's basically the bike. I'll now discuss a bit further about the mileage. I've done a spreadsheet on that. I'll let you see that in a minute. Oh, I almost forgot. Other accessories that I did purchase for the bike. Got myself a sturdy lock for it, which the key sits right inside there. Got a cover to keep the water out of that. So, because you don't want to be leaving a bike like this just parked outside the shop. It didn't cost me too much, and it's kind of difficult to get at if someone wants to tamper with it. Just for short periods of time, that's fine. That's that will do me, you know. The other thing I bought was this pump, which is just like it's got the 2 different nozzles on it for the 2 different types of valve. Works quite well, and you just press that up to clamp it on to the valve, and then it's got, just try and get this loose, then it's just got this handle that pops out so that it's sort of easy to grip when you're pumping up the tire. Works quite well, and it's quite compact. I think that cost me probably about 12 quid. I had one with a gauge on it, which the gauge didn't seem to work, and I sent it back. The cycle shop claimed that there was nothing wrong with it, but they did issue me with a partial refund. I forgot to include the original packaging, etc., but that's another story. Of course, puncture repair kit, standard thing that you need, and I just got a spare 29-inch tube. I've also bought some levers to get the tire, you know, to get the tube out. I've only had one puncture so far, since I've had this bike, so that's not too bad. Yeah, I also had this pack that I was using for my stuff, but it's a bit awkward, a bit small. So I did get a slightly larger bag, which I can fit all these bits and pieces in. This stuff just fits in there, and my wallet and phone and keys and all that sort of thing. Although it's a bit of a tight fit if I have to fit the lock in there. I normally take a bigger bag with me then. So yeah, that's just some of the extras that I bought for the e-bike. Right, we'll now share a bit of knowledge about the mileage that I'm getting out of the battery on this. So hopefully you can see that on the spreadsheet that I've made. Basically, after each charge, I make a record of the distance I work in kilometers. I find, it sounds more impressive in kilometers because it's more than miles. The most that I've got out of it is 80 kilometers, and the battery was basically dead. The red light came on, the battery died on me eventually. That was conservative cycling, taking it easy, cruising downhill, turning the motor off on the flats. Most of the time getting about 40 to 50 kilometers, depending on the terrain, because where I live it's quite hilly, and this is winter conditions. I've not yet used it in summer. I've had this bike since October now. Been recording all the mileages and charging, etc. What's going on with the battery. And my total to date, 1,682 kilometers, which is just over 1,000 miles. Average, I'm getting about 44 kilometers on a charge on average. Like I say, bear in mind it's in winter conditions, and on hills, and also with the speed restrictor sort of disabled, it's going to use more power because you're going at a higher speed with the assist, the motor assisting you. So it's not, even before I de-restricted it, I wasn't getting a fantastic mileage on there. I managed to cycle all the way to Caerphilly and back one day, which was about 50 kilometers, but sort of not using the motor most of the way there. So they advertise 150 kilometers on a charge, but it's about a third of that so far. I shall do a bit of an update when I've used it a bit in the summertime. I might do like an update once I've done, say, 2,000 miles or around 3,000 kilometers, and just let you know what the mileage is like then. Anyway, hopefully you find this update on the Giant Fathom E3 a bit useful if you're thinking of purchasing one. I'd say go for it, as long as you're not doing distances more than, say, 50 kilometers at a time, especially in the winter time anyway. Then it's fine. But otherwise you may be a bit disappointed with the range, but I think you're going to find that with most e-bikes. That range is up to 150 kilometers. That's probably going downhill with someone that weighs about 20 kgs and with a severe gale force wind behind them. I don't know how they come up with these figures, but I would say just divide it by 3, and then you know more or less the range. That's, in my case, what it seems to be like anyway. Like I say, estimated average range, I would say probably about 50 kilometers, because of course the battery is sometimes 2 out of 5 quite often, and then I'll charge it up, otherwise I don't get a decent ride the next time. So probably every second time that I use it, I charge it, depending on what mileage I do. If I do like 38, 40 kilometers and it's on 2 out of 5, then I'll recharge it for use for the next time. So hopefully you found this to be of use, this information. If you're thinking about buying one of these bikes, at least you can make maybe a bit more of an informed decision about it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and till next time, keep safe and well, and goodbye for now.